Welcome to the second part of the video series on extending a roof over an existing patio. In part 1, we looked at the design. Here in part 2, we will look at the construction process. In the design, we had decided to use oversized 8x rough cut posts and beams. Our first move was to ease the edges of all the rough cut material with a power plane. This extra step will add a simple but elegant touch to the overall finished product. All of this new material was laid out and pre-stained before installation. The use of 8x8 posts and beam required that we weld our own custom brackets and connectors. The two brackets to connect the post to the patio slab consist of 8-inch plate with vertical fins. These plates are attached to the slab with two 5/8 by 6-inch concrete anchors. Each vertical post is cut to length, secured to the brackets with lag bolts, and braced into a plumb position. The horizontal beam is pre-chamfered 15 degrees at the bearing point for the rafters. This beam is then set into place and temporarily secured. The two outside rafters are placed and squared into position. At this point, we are able to determine exactly where and how much of the roofing and eave we need to remove. Once the eave is trimmed back and the exact bearing point location for the rafters is determined, a continuous 2x6 is attached across the existing roof surface. Each new 2x6 rafter is pre-cut and seated on a 14-inch layout over the 2x6. The attachment at this point is an 8-inch structural screw through each rafter into the 2x6. The blocking gives the wall below a clean termination point. The rafters over the beam bear on the chamfered area. They attach from the top with a 10-inch structural screw and blocking in between. As a finished surface visible from below, 1x6 is attached to the top of the rafters with 1/4 inch spacing. Black roofing felt is applied to accentuate the shadow gaps visible from below. 5/8 inch OSB is applied on top as the final surface. This assures no roofing nails show through the shadow gaps on the finished side. At the upper part of the new roof, we have an area that could end up being an enclosed, unventilated dead space. Unventilated roof spaces can be trouble, so as a precaution we have set the blocking low and installed 1/8 inch screening. An area of concern during the design process was how to finish the areas where we removed the eaves. The eave terminations and wall area are very visible. We experimented with some mock-ups and came up with a clean final finishing detail that blends well with the existing eave. One of the last details before roofing the new structure is adding permanent post and beam connections. As an artistic flair, we had 3/16 inch plates sheared into triangle shapes, drilled and finished. These simple connection plates add an interesting and functional finish detail. Mike and Gina are very pleased with the final product. This covered patio area greatly increases the livability of their backyard. I am glad they have allowed me to share the design and construction process with you. Thanks for watching. For more information on my construction background, go to peterqbrown.com.